All right, we're back here on Studio 40 Live, ready to rock and roll on a Thursday, getting ready for the big game. It's coming up.
It's going to be here before we know it.
Yeah, it's awesome. And we have to go to the town where it's being played in. And we have to talk about food, don't we? Well, I'd love it if we could go too, right?
Wouldn't it be good? Where would we go if we went?
Well, we got to go to New Orleans, we got to go to Dakar, and we have to talk to a James Beard award-winning chef 3 times. Chef Serigne, how are you today?
I am doing well. I mean, how you guys doing over there?
Great. Now that you're on the show.
Yeah, no kidding.
Awesome.
It looks like
Awesome.
so this game draws people from, eyeballs from around the world, but then lots of people ascending on New Orleans, where you in fact are from. You are prepping for the biggest tailgate party of all time. That seems like it could be a lot of pressure.
I mean, we are ready. I mean, it's not pressure at all because New Orleans is built to host, and that's what we do here. We love to host. We love bringing people, especially people kind of coming to New Orleans for the first time. We love hosting, and that's why we are one of the greatest cities in America.
I love it.
Absolutely. All right, I read that you were born in Harlem, but you were raised in Senegal.
Yes, I was born in Harlem, raised in Senegal, but New Orleans has my better half.
Yeah, okay, so give us a little flavor of like how you learned everything and what type of food you kind of deliver.
I grew up mostly in Senegal. I spent majority of my youth there, but when I moved back to the States, I went to culinary school in New York and Vermont, etc. And when I moved to New Orleans about 8 years ago, I was just in love with the city of New Orleans, the food, the music, the people. I was like, this city reminds me of so much like home. And 7 and a half, 8 years later, here we are. We have a restaurant called Dakar NOLA, and we could not have done it without the city people that live in New Orleans.
That's great.
They have truly embraced me like one of their own.
That's incredible. And I know the bond there in New Orleans among the people, business owners, obviously the sports teams is super tight. You guys have been through a lot down there.
Right.
And so being able to open a restaurant, what was that like? And give us a little flavor of what the restaurant's all about.
I mean, when I first moved to New Orleans, I had all these dishes that are very familiar to me, like gumbo, etouffee, beignets. In Senegal, we have all these dishes, but it's called a different name. As I began to dive more deeply into the food in New Orleans and started doing studies and make connection between the two cultures, realizing that New Orleans was used to be a French territory. Senegal was lastly colonized by French. So it's a huge connection between Senegal and New Orleans, which is one of the reasons why I think New Orleans, I find myself home very quick, very easily because of not only the food, but also the people that live here are very kind, the music, right? The energy that you feel when you're in New Orleans, you can't experience anywhere else. I lived in so many other cities, such as New York, California, San Francisco, lived in Cleveland, Ohio, went to school in Vermont. But New Orleans is a special place.
It is. You are right.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's definitely a little unique. New Orleans, very, very unique.
Yeah, New Orleans, after being here a long time, it gets to you. I don't know what it is. It must be the water. It must be the food. It must be the spice. I don't know what it is.
Oh, yeah. Go get them now. I love it. It's fun down there. All right, so what's like your favorite dish that you're cooking up for all your friends?
My favorite dish has to be jollof rice. Jollof rice is something that I grew up eating a lot back home in Senegal. It was one of my favorite dishes growing up that my mom prepared. Even at a restaurant, even in our restaurant right now, our current menu has jollof rice. And if you're in New Orleans, if you come into New Orleans, you better make a reservation to Dakar NOLA and taste this jollof rice because it is delicious, it's amazing. It goes with anything. In fact, we are sharing the recipe at neworleans.com/bowling. You can find this recipe of jollof rice. And we also have many other chefs in New Orleans that sharing recipe and that website as well.
Look at that. James Beard Award winner giving you a secret access to his recipes.
I'm only doing it because that's what we do. That's what we do. We share. New Orleans is a city that welcomes everybody. I mean everybody. So that's one of the reasons why we're welcoming people in the city of New Orleans. And what's the best way welcoming people is by sharing who we really are.
There you go.
Are you going to work in any sort of beignets too? Because beignets are huge down there, right?
I mean, one thing I would say though, you must have king cake because Super Bowl tailgating, you have to do a New Orleans style. So if you don't have king cake, you don't have a party. King cake is crucial.
That's it.
It's crucial for that. It's crucial.
It's crucial.
Right. Hey,
it's crucial.
As you get ready to throw one of the biggest tailgate parties of all time, if you had one secret that you tell people if they're getting ready for their tailgate party, what are you telling them?
Well, the secret is that you got to have a table of abundance of different food, right? You want to give people option. The more, the better, right? You want to have chicken, fish, rice, some sort of soup. And the goal is you want to do everything before the game starts, because once the game starts, you want to sit down, enjoy with family and friends, right? And able to enjoy it rather than being in the kitchen, stuck in the kitchen doing something else. You want to be part of the party. That's why we call it the New Orleans style tailgating.
Yeah, Chef Serine's table is going to look a lot better than mine. I got some hot dogs, I got a burger, I got some Doritos.
Go to the website.
I got a sweat.
Hey, I tell you what, man. That's what I'm saying. You go to the website, and you'd be surprised what you can find, or find a local caterer nearby you if you can't cook to see what they have that you could make some of the dishes from New Orleans. Because if New Orleans hosting the Super Bowl, you have to cook like New Orleans.
All right.
Yep. Love it.
I'm in. You don't got to tell me twice.
Let's do it. And when we get down to New Orleans, we're going to look you up. We're coming to your restaurant. We got to do it.
I look forward to seeing you guys next week here in New Orleans. Welcome you with all this delicious food, spices, and hospitality.
Let's go tell the bosses. We were just asked to come.
We got to show up now.
Chef Serine, congratulations on all the success, man. I see he's got that football there, and the grip looked like he's.
Did you have one last thing?
We got it. I'm ready. We are ready.
I feel like he's throwing a football. I feel like he's throwing a football for you. You see that?
I know. Oh yeah. He's played.
I got a little something.
He's played before. I can tell.
There it is there. There's Super Bowl coming right up on the 9th. That is crazy. It's just going to be here before we know it. So plenty of time, though, to get to New Orleans and go check them out.
No, you can watch it right here.
Yeah, on Fox 40.
Absolutely.